There's a new Thor in town, and Odin isn't happy about that. What's up, everybody's you-know-who, and welcome to Origins. This is the series where I take from a list of some of my favorite Marvel and DC characters, and I explain their origin stories in 5 minutes or less. Now, this is the current Marvel and DC, so these timelines are going to coexist between the DC Rebirth, the New 52, and the all-new, all-different Marvel. If you guys are interested in reading up on these origins for yourselves, you can go to your local comic book store and pick up a copy. It's highly recommended. Our story begins with an old bearded man sporting a torn red cape and a giant pickaxe. He's currently interrogating a seemingly scared ogre as he demands to know, "Dang it all to hell! Who is she? I must know!" I have no idea what you're talking about! Ladies and gentlemen, this is Thor. This is our Thor, the original Thor. But what happened to him? Where is his hammer? And who is this she he's talking about? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this all happened in an event far before the all-new, all-different reboot. An event that shook the very core of the Marvel Universe as we know it. An event known to all as Original Sin. In this story arc, the Avengers fight against Nick Fury on the moon after he was convicted of shooting and killing a Watcher and stealing his eyeballs. The fight escalated quickly, with Fury taking out Captain America and Bucky Barnes first. Then he laid waste to the rest of the Avengers. It was a pretty solid smackdown, to be honest. All the while, though, Thor came crashing out of nowhere, knocking Fury off balance. The two of them went at it, with Thor winning at first, but then he got surprised because Fury actually wasn't even fighting back that much. But guys, this was the plan all along, as Fury was only trying to get Thor close enough to him to whisper something into his ear. And he did. He whispered something so powerful that it actually caused Thor to drop his hammer down on the moon and left him unable to lift it again. Ladies and gentlemen, to this day we still have no idea what it was Fury said to him, what it was that was so powerful it actually broke the connection between Thor and Mjolnir. But whatever it was, I think it's safe to say that Fury actually had this planned out for a very long time. And Thor, well, he truly did not see this one coming. Not far after the events of Original Sin, a new run was started in the comics called The Unworthy Thor. This event followed Thor basically on a journey trying to regain his worthiness to once again with Mjolnir. He went to different lengths, fighting a multitude of enemies, and even ended up in hell at one point. It's a pretty intriguing story, and I highly recommend you guys reading it before watching this video. Otherwise, you're going to be a bit confused with some of the references in this. So now that you guys have a brief understanding of what exactly happened to Thor, let's go ahead and get into where he is now, and who this new mysterious woman is who now wields Mjolnir. We find Thor standing on the moon in the midst of a dark night. He's looking down into the depths of a giant crater, a crater that once held his mighty Mjolnir. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the place where Thor fell in the Original Sin storyline. See, ever since that day, Thor has come to this spot every single night to relinquish in his failure, to remember why he's been going on such a journey to regain his worthiness. But these past days, he's been coming to this area to find out that his hammer no longer rests here, because of this new mysterious female who now goes around calling herself Thor. Apparently, she's worthy enough to lift the hammer, and Thor is furious. Sometime while he's pacing, though, a man by the name of Volstagg arrives to give Thor some very unsettling news. Thor basically gives him the hand, though, telling him if he doesn't have anything to say that involve the words New Thor or Identity, he would very highly recommend that he just walk away right now. But Volstagg just shakes that off as he tells Thor that the news he has for him is much more unsettling than the identity of this new Thor. He's come to tell him that Jane Foster, Thor's love interest, has collapsed. You see, guys, Jane Foster was just recently diagnosed with cancer. And not just any cancer, breast cancer. It spread to her body, and she's been living it up on Asgard ever since, refusing to use any mystical treatments, much to Thor's dismay. Nurse, tell me the truth. Is there really a shirtless thunder god standing right in front of me? Or have I died and gone to Valhalla? Thor stays with Jane Foster for a while before leaving out, as he really needs to be getting back to finding out the real name of this new Thor. But upon leaving, he stops and pulls out a piece of paper and a pen, one revealing a list of names, with Jane Foster being in the middle. This is a list Thor made of potential candidates, people he thinks could be the new Thor, and he scratches out Jane Foster as she is way too ill to possibly lift Mjolnir. Thor heads out to continue his journey, and he stops at the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier to talk to Phil Coulson, the current head of S.H.I.E.L.D., since Director Fury is nowhere to be seen. Thor asks Fury if he has any idea who this new Thor could be. Coulson says no, but fortunately has a candidate himself, someone by the name of Solomon Rosalind, who he suspects might be this new Thor. See, she actually went to the moon after leaving work for a few weeks. She went to see her hero Thor after finding out he'd been stuck there after losing his hammer. This is the newest lead Thor has gotten in a while, and he takes this as his opportunity to head out and see if he can actually crack this case. Back in Midgard, an evil demon king by the name of Minotaur can be seen conversing with an evil elf king by the name of Malekith. For those of you guys who don't know, Malekith is one of Thor's more powerful enemies. He actually chopped Thor's arm off in the new series called Unworthy Thor. This is actually why Thor has a metal arm, and if you guys want to go read up on that, you can. It's very, very good. Anyhow, Minotaur and Malekith are actually having a conversation about working together. They both share a mutual goal, one that involves taking down Thor. Not Odinson, but this new Thor, flying around with Thor's hammer. All the while, though, while they're conversing over their cup of tea, Thor arrives on the scene, and she's ready to wreck face. She immediately takes out the guards on the roof, and she walks across, making her way to the entrance, as she demands to know if Minotaur and Malekith are inside. Before she gets to the door, though, she's hit with a loud KRABOOM! As a giant mysterious sword smashes down on the top of the roof, taking out Thor instantly. As she gets up, we see that this mysterious source is none other than the Destroyer Armor, the most powerful armor ever in the Hall of Asgard, and it has come to destroy Thor. A short while later, though, we find Thor pacing back and forth with his piece of paper and pen, as he writes down a new name on there, Solomon Rosalind. Before he can head out to find any more clues as to who this new Thor is, Thor's mother, the Queen of Asgard, arrives in a portal, and she's come to tell him that Thor, the new Thor, is in trouble, and she needs his help. Odin has sent the Destroyer Armor after her. He is determined to get that hammer back. Thor agrees to help, as he is more determined than anyone else in the realms to figure out who this new Thor is. But before he goes, he tells her that he has to make a quick pit stop first. Back with Thor, though, we see her getting beat down with her own hammer by the Destroyer Armor. You see, the Destroyer Armor is nothing but a shell, therefore it can actually lift the hammer. Thor is pissed as she refuses to be beaten down by her own hammer. She will not be defeated by her own hammer. So she takes control of it. And she launches the Destroyer Armor across the battlefield, smashing it into everything in sight at super fast speeds. Then she fires at it with everything, launching her lightning straight at it and blowing the armor up. That was it. She won. She actually beat it. We didn't even need Odinson to show up and help. But alas, that did nothing, as the Destroyer Armor just walks out, barely singed, with smoke and fire flying off of it. And Thor thinks, is this the end? Is this how she goes down? After all this, after finally lifting the hammer, after becoming the new Thor, fighting with the Avengers, all of this, she goes down by this mysterious new armor. But alas, all is not lost, as Odin's son arrives on the scene, followed by every single female in the Marvel Universe he had on his list, every single person he thought could have been a potential candidate for the new Thor. And they are ready to destroy the Destroyer armor. The heroes go to war, laying everything down on the Destroyer armor, with Captain Marvel and Spider-Woman saying, "What do you think?" "Of what?" "Of her, the chick with the hammer." "One word, Carol. Hot." "You're an idiot, Jess." But she's not wrong. While the heroes are destroying the armor from the back end, Thor's mother jumps in on top of it and shoves her sword deep into the Destroyer armor's face. Unfortunately though, this does nothing, as the Destroyer armor just grabs her by the neck and throws Thor and Odinson aside. Meanwhile though, up in Asgard, Odin himself can actually see all of this happening through his magic orb. See, he was the one who instructed all of this. He was the one who sent the armor after Thor in the first place. But now he sees that it's almost killing his wife, and even his son Odinson. And with this, he tells the armor to go, to just lead them, leave that place, flee while it still can. And it does. The armor takes off, rocketing into the sky, leaving everyone alone there. The battle was finished. They had won. A short while later, though, all of the females jump into a portal and leave with nothing else there to fight for since the Destroyer armor is now gone. And Thor is finally left with this new Thor, this new mysterious female, and he finds this opportunity to question her to see who she really is. Thor turns to her and he tells her that he knows that she is Solomon Rosalind, and if she'll just admit to him for once that she is Solomon Rosalind, he will tell her what it was Nick Fury said to him that caused him to lose the hammer. And Thor just looks at him as she says, I... But just then, a strange red flying car comes floating out of nowhere, right over Thor and Odinson, smoke covering everywhere. And a woman jumps out. A woman by the name of Solomon Rosalind. Thor is confused as the woman begins yelling at the both of them for almost getting her killed in that fight. Thor sees this as her opportunity, though, to get the heck out of there, and she flees into the sky, leaving Odinson alone to explain everything to Solomon Rosalind. Thor eventually finds homage at an unsacred place in Asgard, and she lands down in the window, letting the hammer fly back into the sky. And once she does that, her armor begins to deteriorate. It begins to dissolve from her body and turn into magical dust. We finally get to see who she is. After all this time, we finally get to see who this new Thor is. We finally get to see why she had to hide her identity for so long, especially from Thor, from the Avengers, from Odin, for everyone. And as the armor finally disappears, as the last piece evaporates into dust, we finally see that Thor, this new Thor, is in fact Jane Foster. And that is our story, guys. That is the origin of the all-new, all-different Thor. Now, of course, the rest of Jane Foster's story doesn't stop here. It also follows into other storylines such as the Unworthy Thor, as well as the newer, all-new, all-different Thor, where she goes on her own solo path. But you guys can read about those in your local comic book store if you want to. I definitely recommend you do that because they are freaking awesome. But this story was definitely one of my favorites. I'm going to give it the thumbs up. It was definitely one of the cooler ones we've covered on this channel. Remember guys, next we're doing DC. We're going to go in a pattern for this. We're doing 2 DCs, then 2 Marvels, and we're going to keep switching like that. So we're not just stayed on one side of the superhero universe. We're alternating into different ones. So make sure you guys suggest DC ones if you want to see another video in this origin series. But thank you guys so much for being here for this thunderous adventure, and as always, my name is Isaiah Chambers. Stay awesome, stay tuned, and I will see you guys next time right here.